Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Cowboys Scouting Report, breaking down the Packers' offensive scheme. The Packers went through a bit of a retooling process this offseason, finally moving on from Aaron Rodgers after years of drama that always seemed to be blamed on someone other than the mercurial quarterback. The organization turned the page and handed the keys to Jordan Love, for whom they controversially traded up to draft in 2020, with Rodgers still on the roster. There were some growing pains, as one might expect, but Love and the offense started clicking and finished as one of the best offenses in football over their last 8 games. Now, Love leads the 9-8 Packers into Dallas for his playoff debut. He'll try to do something no other team has done all year: beat the Cowboys on their home turf. Love isn't the only youngster leading this offense, though. The Packers don't have a single receiver over the age of 24, and 3 of the 4 tight ends on this roster are rookies. Their most senior starting offensive lineman is guard Elgton Jenkins, who is 28 years old. This offense definitely puts the green in Green Bay. Working in their favor, though, is a head coach with plenty of experience. Matt LaFleur may be young by coaching standards, but he's in his 5th season leading the Packers. LaFleur replaced Mike McCarthy, who he'll be facing this week. While that makes for plenty of savory storylines, the reality is both coaches have had success in their new jobs. McCarthy has achieved a level of consistency the franchise hasn't seen since the 90s, while LaFleur won 13 games in each of his first 3 seasons. Like McCarthy, LaFleur calls his own plays on offense and is usually pretty good at it. LaFleur comes from the Shanahan style of offense, with his first NFL coaching stint coming as an offensive assistant on the Texans under then-head coach Gary Kubiak. The offensive coordinator at the time was Kyle Shanahan, and current Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel also worked as an offensive assistant. LaFleur then joined Mike Shanahan's staff at Washington, which included a who's who of modern coaching stars like the younger Shanahan, McDaniel, Bobby Slowick, Sean McVay, and later on Kevin O'Connell. LaFleur spent a brief stint at Notre Dame before joining the Falcons under Dan Quinn, reuniting with offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. Then, when McVay became the Rams head coach, LaFleur became their offensive coordinator. A year later, LaFleur left for the same title in Tennessee as part of Mike Vrabel's inaugural staff, with the bonus of getting to call plays for the first time in his career. That was enough to land him the Packers job, where he enjoyed immediate success. Looking at LaFleur's background, it's easy to figure out how this offense operates. The Cowboys have seen variations of it all year long, having faced the Jets. Offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett held the same title in Green Bay under LaFleur, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, and Dolphins. At its core, this is an offense built around the run game, though that doesn't always mean it's a run-heavy offense. When Rodgers was under center, LaFleur called for passing plays on early downs at a 54.7% rate, that's down to 51.1% this year. A sizable drop. The running scheme is built around the wide outside zone, and the passing game is married to that. This means a ton of play action that, up front, looks exactly like a run play. On top of that, LaFleur throws a bunch of shifts and motion into the mix to confuse defenses. It's nothing revolutionary. In fact, the only 3 teams with a higher motion rate than Green Bay this year are the teams led by McDaniel, McVay, and Shanahan, but it works. The scheme also has a penchant for making things very easy on the quarterback, which is why it wasn't all that surprising to see Love take off after a few months of getting comfortable in the role. And get comfortable he has. Over the last 8 weeks, Love ranked second in both EPA/play and CPOE. His accuracy improved by a large margin, and Love also began to let it rip more frequently. In fact, he leads the league in pass attempts beyond 20 yards downfield. However, he's only completing 39.5% of these passes, and has a 7.8% turnover-worthy play rate when going deep. Still, Love's confidence is evident. As great as Love has been as he enters the postseason, though, he's never faced a defense quite like the Cowboys. Their combination of pass rush and ball skills presents a very unique challenge that seems, at least on paper, like a poor fit for a young quarterback feeling himself. It's also worth noting that Love's 4 worst games this year, by PFF player grade, all came on the road. Meanwhile, 3 of his 5 best games came at home, with the 2 outliers against familiar divisional foes in the rematch. It's not hard to envision a path to success for Dan Quinn's group against these Packers. They're well tested against the scheme by now, and they certainly have the ability to fluster inexperienced quarterbacks like Love. But there also exists the possibility that Love elevates his game with the higher stakes and rises to the occasion. That chess match could be the deciding factor between whether this is a blowout win for the Cowboys or a close, competitive game. Cowboys as mystery team to hire Belichick? ESPN admits to gossiping. The idea of Bill Belichick being hired to replace a fired Mike McCarthy came from nowhere, and then, suddenly, from everywhere. How? Why? Part of the phenomenon that has the Dallas Cowboys coaching situation in the news: simple, old-fashioned irresponsible gossip. Before we delve any deeper, in a never-say-never football world, it is conceivable that McCarthy's playoff performance might be so heinous, and Belichick's siren call be so powerful, that owner Jerry Jones is moved to make a chance. At the same time, anyone who suggests they have a source inside the Star who says Jones is considering this is, we'll say it flat out, lying. There is, outside the building, gossip and rumor. There are also friends of Bill who are making sure to spread their / a sycophantic message around the NFL in order to make the recently failing legend seem all the more attractive. So a media FOB tells a media pal. Who tells another? Who tells another? And suddenly, Jerry's own words about McCarthy's job security: "It's not an issue," he recently said, citing McCarthy's outstanding work as the big difference in the Cowboys' rise to Super Bowl contention, are ignored. Some FOBs in the media have disguised this process ably, others are not clever enough to avoid looking obvious. And then there is former Patriots linebacker Rob Ninkovich, new to the media game and offering an unvarnished truth about how ESPN has steered this into being a story. Said Ninkovich on the Pat McAfee Show, "Say Green Bay goes down to Dallas and takes care of business in Sunday's playoff opener. I could see Jerry Jones saying, 'Hey, Bill. Hey, man, I only got so many times left, so to speak, at the old glory hole.' You know, Bill would be licking his chops to go down there to Dallas with a team that's loaded like that." We very much respect Ninkovich's guess as to what Belichick could like. That's fair game. We also enjoy his use of Jerry's infamous glory hole phrase. But we promised we'd delve deeper into how this sort of gossip takes hold. So, Rob, where did you come up with Dallas as Belichick's landing spot? You look at the Cowboys, Ninkovich said. I don't know who said it on ESPN's Get Up, but I do believe that somebody was saying that McCarthy, if he doesn't win, that it might be his last year. Bingo. ESPN's Ninkovich is on McAfee and is parroting ESPN's Get Up, which is parroting ESPN's Adam Schefter, who ignited this idea by writing that some people say a change could be coming for the unstable Cowboys, complete with the wobbly claim that the thought even comes from some of Jones' own staff. And now comes another new wave of stories regurgitating the same old junk. How much does ESPN want to perpetuate this gossip? So much so that now Schefter is reporting there is a mystery team in the playoffs that WLL pursue Belichick. A mystery team? That's reporting. Nope. That's gossiping. And if you didn't understand it before? Rob Ninkovich just accidentally took you inside how this rumor mill sausage is being made. And you fan, what do you think of the Bill Belichick situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.